We recently asked the Miami Springs community to list some of their favorite things about Miami Springs. We compiled the list, sorted the results, and tallied the final numbers. It's clear Miami Springs residents have an incredible pride and passion for our beautiful community. So what do you love most about Miami Springs? Will it match the Miami Springs community? Let's find out. Let's start with the top 20 reasons the Miami Springs community loves Miami Springs. Coming in at number 20, the Miami Springs Golf and Country Club. The history of the Miami Springs Golf Course actually predates the incorporation date of the city of Miami Springs, or as it was originally known, Country Club Estates. The Miami Springs Golf Course was an instant hit, hosting dozens of PGA golf events, including 30 Miami Opens from 1925 through 1955. Today, the Miami Springs Golf Course hosts a variety of local tournaments and continues the tradition of serving the community with a beautiful 18-hole golf course. A little known fact today is that the Miami Springs Golf and Country Club is the oldest municipal golf course in South Florida and the first golf course in the state to allow blacks to play. According to the city of Miami Springs, some of the legendary people who have played at the golf course include Glenn Curtis, James Bright, Walter Hagen, Tommy Armour, Gene Sarazen, Byron Nelson, Sam Snead, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, Don Drysdale, Whitey Ford, Jackie Robinson, Althea Gibson, Charlie Sifford, Dinah Washington, Nat King Cole, Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis, and Arnold Palmer. Today, residents love the beautiful wide open green space that sprawls across acres of green landscape. The bike trails along the golf course make it extremely accessible to pedestrians and cyclists alike. Some of the most luxurious homes in Miami Springs are found along the perimeter of the Miami Springs Golf Course. Included on the list of homes is the beautiful Curtis Mansion. The mansion was built by Miami Springs founder, aviator, inventor, daredevil, and successful businessman Glenn Hammond Curtis. Today, the property is used for weddings and corporate events. More and more, developers are trying to gobble up golf courses throughout South Florida to build homes, commercial areas, or even, as we know, a new soccer stadium. Miami Springs residents have fought for decades to ensure the Miami Springs Golf Course remains a wide open green golf course for the enjoyment of future generations and for the benefit of the entire community. To learn more about the beautiful Miami Springs Golf and Country Club, visit MiamiSprings.com. Now, coming in at number 19, the reasons we love Miami Springs. Youth sports. Miami Springs is a great place to raise a family. In fact, some believe, as do I, it's the best place to raise a family in all of South Florida. And part of the reason it's a great place to raise a family is the availability of great youth activities, especially youth sports. From baseball to soccer to football, there's a lot of variety of things little kids can do here in Miami Springs. Let's start off with Miami Springs Little League. Miami Springs has a strong tradition of offering Little League baseball for girls and boys. Extremely competitive locally and even at state and national levels. To learn more, you can visit MiamiSpringsLittleLeague.org. Of course, Miami Springs VG Soccer is another sport with strong participation by both boys and girls. The MSVG Soccer League has created tremendous athletes who have gone on to great success in high school and even receiving full ride scholarships in college. You can learn more at msvgsoccer.com. Football is another sport that's been enjoyed, both tackle football and flag football, over the years. To learn more about the football program, visit msvgoptimist.com. But there's more with Miami Springs basketball at the rec center, volleyball at the rec center. The tennis courts is another great sport available here in Miami Springs for kids who maybe don't want to be in a team sport, but learn the athleticism involved with tennis. Golf is another one. Again, these are all great sports that we have available here in Miami Springs for our children. But that's not all. Martial arts. Race Taekwondo has been instilling self-discipline and confidence through martial arts for many, many years. Right in the heart of Miami Springs on the Circle. To learn more about all of these sports, visit MiamiSprings.com. Coming in at number 18, our favorite reasons we love living in Miami Springs. and it's the fantastic great places to eat. The Miami Springs is loaded with amazing mom and pop restaurants. Husbands and wives, moms and dads who risk everything to open a restaurant and share their passion for great food with our beautiful community. In fact, we recently featured a top 10 places to eat in Miami Springs video. Truly a tough choice because there's so many great places, but the community definitely has its favorites. We'll refer you to that video. You can check out the comment section for more information. But Miami Springs is loaded with great places to eat, including ceviches, crackers, Burritoville, and many, many, many more. Learn more about the top places to eat in Miami Springs at MiamiSprings.com. Coming in at number 17, reasons we love Miami Springs: natural beauty and aesthetics. Miami Springs is blessed with an incredible amount of natural beauty and aesthetics. There's a reason it's referred to as beautiful Miami Springs. From the lakes to the river to the beautiful golf course, Miami Springs is a gorgeous oasis within the hustle and bustle of greater Miami. Coming in at number 16, reasons we love Miami Springs: friendly and polite people. We love Miami Springs, and Miami Springs is an oasis inside of the concrete jungle of Miami. The folks who live and work in Miami Springs have worked hard and in many cases sacrificed a lot to be able to call Miami Springs home. And once people move into Miami Springs, they never really want to leave. As a result, Miami Springs is not a transient community. Most of the homeowners have been in Miami Springs for decades. Many have been in Miami Springs for generations. This results in a very friendly, neighborly community, a community where people really know and care for each other. For example, a trip to the local grocer, Milan's Marcus, isn't just a trip to get groceries. It's a social affair, as most residents can barely go through an aisle without running into someone they know. I know this might be a foreign concept in Greater Miami, but in Miami Springs, we actually do wave at each other and say hi. We say good morning. We say good afternoon. We let others cross the street ahead of us. We stop the car for pedestrians to cross. We stop the car for the ducks to cross. Most of Miami is different. Miami is very transient. Miami has a lot of tourists and people who come from other places and people who are coming and going and maybe not setting up roots in Miami long term. But Miami Springs is the opposite of that. Miami Springs is the place where people do set up roots, where people have lived here for a long time, and people want to stay. And thus, Miami Springs has some of the friendliest and most polite people you'll find in all of Dade County. Coming in at number 15, reasons we love Miami Springs: the public parks. Miami Springs has popular parks residents love to enjoy, whether for baseball, football, soccer, running, or enjoying the playground. Miami Springs parks have been designed for decades to be enjoyed by all those who are young at heart. Prince Field, it's the favorite playground for little kids. It's one of the many parks for Little League and Optimist football. Prince Field Playground has been a place kids have been loved for decades. Stafford Park. Stafford Park was named after fallen Miami Springs police officer Charles B. Stafford. The park has been used for baseball, softball, and soccer for years. It also has a popular walking and running track, plus a playground for little kids. P.V. Dove Field is across from Miami Springs Senior High. This park features baseball fields and a small tot-lot playground. Plus, it also boasts a popular dog park at North Royal Poinciana Boulevard. Coming in at number 14, reasons we love Miami Springs: the unique and beautiful homes. Miami Springs has a wide variety of unique and beautiful homes, from small and charming 2-bed, 1-bath homes to incredibly luxurious mansions right on the golf course. Furthermore, unlike some modern developments where every single house is virtually identical to the home next to it, each Miami Springs home has its own charm and unique flavor. Plus, as an older community, our homes tend to have a significantly larger lot than homes in areas like nearby Doral. Our homes have plenty of room to add a pool and still have a backyard. Furthermore, families that want to enjoy Biscayne Bay and the Atlantic waters are not allowed to have a boat in many communities. While Miami Springs is rightfully very strict on making sure boats are parked in the backyard, the fact that so many homes have large lots to park a boat, trailer, or even an RV makes Miami Springs an ideal place to live for the adventurous family that wants a nice home, a nice community, and some nice toys neatly parked in the rear yard. Of course, the most unique home in all of Miami Springs is the Glen Curtis Mansion. The Pueblo Revival, or some call Alamo-style home, was part of the unique look Glen Curtis wanted for the Miami Springs area. It is a unique residence used now for weddings and corporate events. Many Miami Springs homes have been upgraded and modernized with their own unique designs. From impact windows to renovated roofs to upgraded kitchens and baths. The challenge, of course, is finding the right contractor who can do the job on time and on budget. That's why we recommend our friends at BDC Construction. BDC Construction has been building in South Florida for years and have a lot of experience working with the Miami Springs building officials, making sure your home isn't delayed in the permitting process. Contact our friends at BDC Construction if it's time to remodel your home. Are you dreaming about buying a home in Miami Springs? Don't dream about it. Make it a reality with the Leonard Real Estate Group. The Leonard Real Estate Group is a professional, family-run operation that has been in Miami Springs for decades. They can help you find your dream home, and should you be in the position to sell your Miami Springs home, the experts at the Leonard Real Estate Group make selling your home a professional experience by people who love and value this community as much as you do. Contact the Leonard Real Estate Group today on Facebook or visit their website at leonardrealestategroup.com. Coming in at number 13, reasons we love Miami Springs. The Miami Springs Police Department. One of the special characteristics of Miami Springs is that we have our own police force. Miami Springs Police are a unique group of men and women who love our community and love helping the residents. Many of the officers are residents of our city and work hard day and night to make sure our city is safe. I can speak from personal experience. If you have an emergency, the Miami Springs Police Department will arrive faster in Miami Springs than virtually any other neighborhood. I can tell you in a handful of cases where we needed help fast, they were at our home in less than 3 minutes. It does not get faster than that. Furthermore, in cases where it's not an emergency, they're still at my home in less than 5 minutes. Good luck getting a cop to tend to you in less than 30 minutes on a non-emergency call in unincorporated Miami-Dade County. Friendly and professional. Our police force is known to being very friendly with residents. I'll share 2 stories. I used to have a large Argentine Mastiff, also known as a Dogo. That Dogo had escaped my yard when a neighbor's construction project accidentally broke through the fence. The dog took off like a rocket, enjoying his tour of Miami Springs. He was quickly picked up by a very sweet female police officer who brought him back to my home in the back of the police cruiser. She was incredible. Not only was she not afraid of the massive dog, she didn't let him go until she gave him a big hug. How many police departments do that? In another case, I reported a threatening phone scam to the police department. Sure enough, they were at my home in just mere minutes. While I'm sharing the information with the officer, my young son had come out wearing his police costume. The Miami Springs police officer smiled and allowed him to turn on the lights of the patrol car. That's the kind of loving care our Miami Springs police officers have for our community. It's the kind of love for a community you just don't find anywhere else. Miami Springs police are professional and friendly, but they're also firm if you're breaking the law or speeding. For residents, our police force provides reassurance that our neighborhood is safe 24 hours a day, and our residents know that should need arise to request an officer, the brave men and women who protect our streets will respond immediately to assist you in your time of need. And again, there is no other community that has a faster police response than our own. The Miami Springs Police Department is always willing to lend a hand, and we are very appreciative to have the Miami Springs Police Force protecting our community. Number 12. Reasons we love Miami Springs. Lack of congestion and traffic. Miami Springs is a residential community with low-density housing, parks, and a beautiful 18-hole golf course. In addition, Miami Springs is blessed with important borders that prevent most, if not all, cut-through traffic. These borders, along with low-density housing, creates a community with very little traffic and congestion once you get inside. It's nice to get home from a long day and have light traffic and a sunset greeting you home. It's also great to start your day with just 5 minutes of driving as peaceful as this. That doesn't mean you might not get an occasional delay. The duck crossings can add an additional 30 seconds to your trip. Nevertheless, our streets greet you with peace and serenity. The only exception to traffic is the downtown circle in the afternoons, and Northwest 36th Street, which borders the airport along the southern border of the city. However, once you're inside the residential streets, it's a quiet, stress-free ride. In fact, Miami Springs residents know they are home once they get into Miami Springs. The stress of the workday begins to dissipate once you're doing 30 miles an hour on our peaceful tree-lined streets. Number 11, reasons we love Miami Springs. The community events. Miami Springs has a busy social calendar with tons of local and family-oriented community events. Now, we're not going to cover them all here. We're just going to go through a small sample. For a full list of all the community events, we suggest you visit the MiamiSprings.com website and click on events. But there are a variety of events that happen every year. And take the big one, the annual Miami Springs River Cities Festival, or the Miami Springs 4th of July Parade. There is no parade in South Florida like the classic Miami Springs 4th of July Parade. Or how about the annual classic car shows on the Circle, the 4th of July fireworks on the golf course, the Blessed Trinity Family Parish Festival, or the 5K to support the Sebastian Strong Foundation, which is just around the corner. Folks, in Miami Springs, it's always about the community, family, and kids. And we've got tons of events that are family-oriented, that are family-friendly, and it's part of what makes Miami Springs special and unique. Again, for a full list of all the events, click on MiamiSprings.com and then click the event section. Number 10, reasons we love Miami Springs, the schools. Miami Springs residents love our local Miami Springs schools. With 3 A-rated public schools and an improving B and highly rated AIE, Miami Springs has great choices in public and charter schools. Plus, Miami Springs has great private and parochial schools as well. Let's start off with Springview Elementary. It's an A school for the 8th straight year. An incredible job. It's a small community school. It feels like a private school. The classrooms are so small, but it's a public school right here in the heart of Miami Springs, in Springview Elementary. An amazing job. Teachers and kids, parents all love this school. Not to be left behind is Miami Springs Elementary, which was a B school but improved to an A school. Miami Springs Elementary has done a great job and it also has that small community feel to it. Isaac Academy, the 3rd A school on our list, is Integrated Science and Asian Culture Academy. Definitely a school to consider for the upcoming school year. Isaac has got great reviews and done an amazing job, again with its unique focus on integrated science and Asian culture. AIE, the Academy for International Education Charter School. Ranked a B for the 2nd year, AIE is an amazing school and it's got some interesting moves to serve the community in the future. So keep an eye on AIE. Miami Springs Middle and Miami Springs Senior High both have a tradition of excellence going back decades. Recently, though, they've ranked as C schools and are aggressively working to improve their grades. Next, we have the parochial schools. Let's start with Blessed Trinity. Blessed Trinity Catholic School offers a traditional Catholic education for children ages pre-K through 8th grade. There's also All Angels Academy, as established pre-K through middle school, rooted in the tradition of the Episcopal Church. And there's also Miami Springs Seventh-day Adventist School. Again, Miami Springs has a wide variety of choices for kids of all ages, from pre-K through high school. At number 9, favorite things people love about Miami Springs, the wildlife. Yep, the wildlife, birds and wildlife. Miami Springs residents love and appreciate nature. And again, Miami Springs is blessed with an incredibly vibrant and diverse variety of wildlife, including alligators, birds, raccoons, possums, foxes, parrots, owls, ibis, ducks, and many, many more. Let's talk about the birds. One of the most beautiful part of living in Miami Springs is listening to the beautiful birds outside. It could be singing birds, parrots, the woodpeckers as they're hammering at a tree or a light pole. We have a wide variety of cool birds. Some of the cool birds aren't the singing type, but rather the birds of prey. We have a wide variety of hawks, some of them smaller, some of them larger, but can be pretty impressive and can be seen from time to time. Egrets, ibis, just gorgeous, beautiful birds. Some of them hunting for things like lizards. Others just impressive to look at. We do have a wide variety of birds. Of course, we have the ducks. The ducks call Miami Springs home, and they're all over the place. People slow down, let the ducks cross the roads, and the ducks are all across Miami Springs. It is a cool part, is the nature. the natural animals that live in our neighborhood. On the land, obviously, we have possums are all over the place, squirrels. We have iguanas. They are invasive, and some people love them, some people are not crazy about them, but the iguanas are actually kind of cool. Some of them have gotten pretty big, and they've really blown up over the last 20 or so years, where they are everywhere throughout South Florida and all over Miami Springs. Other animals, this one's not an invasive, it's a native species, is the American alligator. And yes, we do get American alligators in the neighborhood. The gators generally don't bother anyone. There's never been a reported incident of that I know of a human alligator incident here in Miami Springs. But nevertheless, they are out there, and people do need to be aware that in any waterway in South Florida, or in fact, the entire state of Florida, any body of water can have an alligator. And we definitely have our share of gators that come throughout the area. When they do get a little bit too large, they can be relocated. But they are impressive to look at and a beautiful animal. People really do enjoy seeing them. The other water creature that is native and people do love to see, and we can see on the Miami River from time to time, is the Florida manatee. The manatees are absolutely beautiful species. It can get pretty big. They usually are in groups and are an impressive animal to see. Again, Miami Springs is home to, in a small little area, because we have a beautiful tree canopy. We are home to a wide variety of animals and birds and even foxes, who can be shy, but we do have some video and some photos of some foxes in the area. So again, one of the things that people love about the area is the incredible wildlife and diversity here in our little 3 square miles of Miami Springs. Warning: do not feed the alligators. Alligators are shy creatures and do not follow humans on land. They are afraid of us and want to avoid us. However, once an alligator has been fed by a human, it immediately associates a human with food, and that's when problems can happen. A few alligator safety tips. Again, do not feed alligators. Do not go by the edge of a canal or a lake at dawn, dusk, or at night. We all know about the tragedy of the family who lost a small child at Disney who were just a few inches in the water at dusk. During the day, if you're near a canal bank, common if you're fishing, just scan the area and be aware of your surroundings. Be extra careful with small children and small pets. It's generally a good idea to keep small children away from the canal banks. If you see a gator on land, wow, don't freak out. Just back away to a safe distance. 12 feet is usually plenty of space. Enjoy the animal and maybe take a pic or video. Coming in at number 8, reasons we love Miami Springs. It's family friendly. When outsiders think of Miami in South Florida, they think of the beaches, the warm weather, parties on South Beach, Miami Vice, drugs, girls in bikinis. Miami Springs has the warm weather, and we have the proximity to the beaches, but Miami Springs is not about partying till sunrise with girls on the beach. Miami Springs is a quiet family town. I know the city bills itself as being in the heart of it all, but really Miami Springs is the oasis, surrounded by the concrete jungle of Greater Miami. The calm and peaceful place people call home. The kind of place people dream of raising their children. Some of the things that makes Miami Springs a great family place are also some of the same reasons people love living in the area. The quiet streets are great for kids to ride their bikes. Highly rated schools is a must for any family, and we've got lots of great schools. Great youth sports, family-friendly community events, an abundance of local churches and faith-based activities. We watch out for each other's kids. Lots of parks for the kids and families to enjoy. A great police department that keeps our kids safe. Again, these are amongst the many different reasons we love Miami Springs. And again, another reason that Miami Springs is a family-friendly neighborhood. Coming in at number 7, reasons we love Miami Springs. Real community. What does real community mean? It's what the Miami Springs community kept repeating over and over as one of their favorite characteristics of Miami Springs. It's a real community. Miami Springs is not one of those neighborhoods where everyone is anonymous. Miami Springs is home to residents who tend to stay for a long time. As stated before, many residents have lived here for decades, some have lived here for generations. And when you're in a small community of 14,000 people, and you make roots and connections, you begin to build strong bonds that last a lifetime. Another part of what makes Miami Springs a quote-unquote real community are the long-standing churches. The faith-based community is an essential part of building families and keeping communities together. And Miami Springs is blessed by God to have a strong faith-based community. Miami Springs takes care of each other. No matter your political views, race, financial status, or ethnicity, Miami Springs has proven over and over that it will come together to help those in need. Whether it's been for the Chad Tuff Foundation, Team Daniella, or Sebastian Strong, this community has always risen above to help those in need. Coming in at number 6, reasons we love Miami Springs: quiet, peaceful, and tranquil. Want to party every night till 2 in the morning? Yeah, that's not happening in Miami Springs. Miami Springs is valued for being a quiet, peaceful, and tranquil neighborhood. As described earlier, Miami Springs does not have a lot of traffic. It does not get a lot of congestion. It is a peaceful neighborhood, the kind of neighborhood where you can sit in your yard and listen to the trees rustle in the wind while enjoying a sweet melody being orchestrated by some of our beautiful birds. Unfortunately, as Miami continues to grow and get more congested and increase in density to our east and west, this peaceful tranquility is both rarer in South Florida and under increased pressure. If you look at a map of Miami Springs from space, you'll notice how Miami Springs appears to be a green triangular island surrounded by an increasingly concrete jungle. Even from space, it's clear that Miami Springs is a green oasis, literally in the middle of greater Miami. That's why Miami Springs residents are constantly fighting against any development that adds density to our special oasis. The residents want to ensure that our green triangular island stays that way for generations to come. Let's keep Miami Springs quiet, peaceful, tranquil. Number 5 reasons we love Miami Springs: our neighbors. One of the things that came up repeatedly by the community was the fact that they love their neighbors. Again, Miami Springs is a welcoming community that appreciates kind neighbors. We all share in the pride of maintaining our homes and bettering the community for tomorrow. More importantly, this community likes to take care of its neighbors. We watch over their homes and children. We have talks in the middle of the street as a neighbor who lives blocks away stops to say hello. And in our small community, virtually everyone is kind to one another. It really is a special place. And when you've got great neighbors who live next door for years, if not decades, it's a pleasure to come home and say hi to them. We check on them and their well-being, share stories, hug during difficult times, and laugh at the silly moments. A great neighbor is worth its weight in gold, and by that measure, Miami Springs is one of the richest neighborhoods in all of South Florida. Coming in at number 4, reasons we love Miami Springs: the location. What are the 3 rules about real estate? Location, location, location. Miami Springs' amazing location is one of the key features residents absolutely love about living in the area. So what exactly is so amazing about Miami Springs' location? To answer that, you have to look at the map. If you look at the map, you'll see Miami Springs is literally at the heart of it all. It's located in the middle of Miami-Dade County. That means residents are literally minutes away from everything Greater Miami has to offer. Let's look at the drive times to popular areas of Miami-Dade County. To get to Miami International Airport, hello, it's right next door. It's 5 minutes or less to get to the airport. Downtown Miami in the Brickell area is 15 to 20 minutes away depending on downtown traffic. Coral Gables, easily 15 minutes away. Coconut Grove, 15-20 minutes. Miami Beach and South Beach, 15 minutes. Key Biscayne, 20 minutes. Doral, 5 minutes. Dolphin Mall, 15 minutes. Florida International University, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. One of the hard to describe features that makes the location great is easy access to highways. State Road 112, the Airport Expressway, begins at the eastern edge of Miami Springs. The Palmetto Expressway, or State Road 826, is just 5 minutes west of Miami Springs. In some communities, it can take 15 to 30 minutes just to get to the main highway. In Miami Springs, we have major highways just minutes away. Boat owners love the ability to tow their boat to a variety of boat ramps that provide access to Biscayne Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. The nearest boat ramp is just off Northwest 27th Avenue and is only about 10 to 15 minutes away. World-class fishing is just minutes away from Miami Springs. As described earlier, much of Miami has been overdeveloped, causing incredible amounts of congestion. That's why it's a luxury to be able to commute to work, shop, or play without spending half your day behind the wheel of an automobile. When you arrive in our little oasis, you find that you're in a beautiful community, located next to an 18-hole historic golf course, surrounded by beautiful trees and quiet streets. Location is everything in real estate, and Miami Springs has the perfect location for those who want to live in a quiet neighborhood with easy access to all South Florida has to offer. Reason number 3 we love Miami Springs: safe, secure, and low crime. Part of what makes Miami Springs a quiet oasis is the general low crime, safety, and security residents have living in this area. As stated in reason number 13, the Miami Springs community loves its police department. MSPD can get to any emergency within the city in just a couple of minutes, if not less. And the criminals know this. While criminals can be enticed by the nice homes and nice cars in the area, they also know that if an alarm is tripped or a neighbor gets suspicious, they've got just seconds to get out. And while Miami Springs does not have a lot of traffic, it has just a handful of ways a criminal can exit the city. That makes it easy for our police department to capture before they escape the city. Reason number 5, our neighbors, is another great deterrent to crime, because most of our neighbors don't just live in the Springs for years, but rather decades. We tend to know who belongs on the block and who doesn't. Who belongs and who doesn't is huge. That also makes it easier to pick out criminals in the neighborhood. Furthermore, if you look at the actual crimes in the area, the most common crime is the vehicle break-in. Typically a burglar tests for unlocked cars. When the burglar finds the unlocked car, they open it and ransack the interior for any valuables. Also, most of the area crimes tend to be along the commercial border with Miami International Airport, where we have lots of hotels and a more transient community. The residential area isn't 100% crime-free, but it is extremely quiet compared to most neighborhoods in South Florida. Our general lack of traffic on our residential roads adds to our security. As they say, out of sight, out of mind. If a criminal doesn't know what Miami Springs is or has, why would they ever even target your home? Of course, we know that crime exists in every neighborhood, including extremely high-end neighborhoods like Coral Gables, Key Biscayne, and Bell Harbor. But Miami Springs has an almost non-existent violent crime rate. Again, no neighborhood is crime-free, but Miami Springs is still among the safest places to live in all of South Florida, and that peace of mind is rated very high by the Miami Springs community. Number 2 reasons we love Miami Springs: trees, canopy, and greenery. Miami Springs is a proud recipient of Tree City USA designation, and residents in the community love the trees, the canopy, and overall greenery of Miami Springs. Let's go back to the satellite views of Miami Springs. If you look at the map, you immediately notice that Miami Springs is shaped like a triangle, a very green triangle. Then look at the rest of Miami-Dade County. Miami Springs is literally a green oasis surrounded by the concrete jungle of Greater Miami. Many of the reasons discussed earlier have helped Miami Springs enjoy such a beautiful canopy of trees and green. The low-density housing and large lots provide homeowners with ample private green space and loads of trees. Our big, beautiful 18-hole golf course provides acres of green space you can enjoy walking, biking, driving, or even viewing from space in the satellite photos. Plus, Miami Springs is a mature neighborhood with some trees that are nearly 100 years old, having withstood the test of time, Mother Nature, and several hurricanes throughout their lives. When you drive throughout the concrete jungle of Miami-Dade County, it is extremely peaceful, enjoyable, and relaxing to take in the quiet streets and lush, beautiful landscapes and canopies of Miami Springs. The stress of the day begins to melt away almost immediately. Of course, you don't have to drive to enjoy the tree canopy. Take a walk or bike along the many bike paths to enjoy some fresh air, warm South Florida sunshine, and a cool breeze under the tree canopies. Miami Springs residents have fought hard to preserve the beautiful trees that really make Miami Springs a beautiful place now and for generations to come. Of course, part of what makes our trees so beautiful is our lengthy and bountiful rainy season. While the typical afternoon thunderstorms can dampen a few minutes of the day, the daily deluge makes everything green and beautiful. Plus, the warm tropical climate provides an incredible diverse amount of green trees you just don't find up north. From royal palms to bamboos to coconut trees to live oak trees. you'll find an incredible volume and variety of trees and plants in Miami Springs. It's no wonder the Miami Springs community voted our tree canopy and greenery as their second favorite thing about Miami Springs. And finally, we get to the number one reason we love Miami Springs. The answer, as chosen by the Miami Springs community, the favorite thing people love about Miami Springs is the small town feel. We love Miami Springs, and people have been referring to Miami Springs as Mayberry, the fictional small town from the Andy Griffith Show of the 1960s for decades. And that's because Miami Springs is a small town with a warm and loving small town feel. A small town where people know and care for one another. Let's start with the facts. Miami Springs is just 3 square miles, with an estimated population of just 14,000 residents. To put that into perspective, you could fit every Miami Springs resident inside the American Airlines Arena and still have 7,000 seats available. Compare Miami Springs to its neighbors. The city of Miami has 435,579 residents. The city of Hialeah has 236,387 residents. The city of Doral has 60,000 residents. The village of Virginia Gardens has just 2,500 residents, though many consider the small town, which used to be part of Miami Springs, as one and the same. But it's not just the numbers. There's something more, something special. The small town feel is more than just a small place with a small population. It's the neighbors, the relationships, and the people. The fact that residents live in Miami Springs for decades builds bonds that last generations. Miami Springs is not a transient town. People move to stay for the rest of their lives in many cases. That helps to build long-term roots in the community. A true community is based on faith, family, and friends. And that's what Miami Springs has above everything else. Despite being just 3 square miles, Miami Springs has a strong faith-based community with a variety of churches serving the community for decades. Small towns are also about strong family bonds, and it's not uncommon to find residents who have multiple family members who slowly move into the area, one family unit at a time, one house at a time. It's also common to find second and even third generation residents who spent most of their lives living in the area. One of the things that gives Miami Springs that small town feel are the strong friendships created within the community. It's easy to find Little League and soccer coaches who themselves used to play in the same fields, passing on the tradition to the next generation. It's common to find parents who are schoolmates or teammates with the teachers, coaches, and even preachers of their children. But even those who may be new in the neighborhood, those who have not built those long-lasting bonds, they still appreciate the low density, low crime, low traffic, small town feel of Miami Springs. The tree-lined streets, the small local businesses, the mom-and-pop shops, and the pride people have to live and work in our beautiful small town known as Miami Springs. Common things we hear from people who discover Miami Springs for the first time include, "What a beautiful small town. I never knew this existed. Miami Springs is a hidden gem. What a cute, quaint town." Here's what's clear. There's no single thing that gives Miami Springs its unique small town charm. It's a combination of factors that makes the formula work. But there's no denying the Miami Springs community loves the small town feel and small town charm that is Miami Springs. The challenge to current residents is to keep that small town charm for generations to come. May God bless you, and may God bless Miami Springs. Thank you for watching this Top 20 video produced by MiamiSprings.com. If you like this video, please share with your friends. This video is brought to you by BDC Construction. Make your home dreams come true with a home makeover by BDC Construction. Learn more at bdcmiami.com. Also brought to you by the Leonard Real Estate Group. Get the professional real estate advice you need to buy or sell in Miami Springs. Visit leonardrealestategroup.com. And Ceviches by Divino. Ceviches is now offering Wing It Mondays with a beso limeña. Thanks for watching.